Let's talk about the card. All of these questions, right? As you go through them, it doesn't have to be like you pulled out the card. You should have one of these on your clipboard at all times. So you're carrying a clipboard. Do people feel more or less important if you're taking notes while they're talking?
More important.
Yeah. So they feel more important if you're taking notes. I feel more important when you guys take notes when I'm talking.
That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. It means you have something to say that's valuable, right? And they're looking for a several $100,000 purchase. You should make them feel like you value what they're saying. But you don't have to ask these questions super directly and like in an awkward way. You don't have to be like, okay, folks, I'm going to need to know, how did you hear about us? I got to know. I need to report this back to the team. How did you hear about us? Like, that is not how you ask this question. But it's a very casual, hey, so I'm glad you guys came out today. Hey, how did you originally hear about us? Like, just make it a casual conversation thing. If you're holding the clipboard while asking it and you're reading it, it's weird. You guys should know all these questions that are on this clipboard. They're not complicated. I ask all these questions without looking at the guest card on my clipboard so that it doesn't appear as though I'm interrogating them or doing a census. Have you ever had the guy from the census department come to your door?
I haven't, but
I had a stalker census guy. Jordan, do you remember when I had the stalker census guy? Did I tell you about this? The last house I lived in, he came to my house like 4 times a day for like 8 weeks. It was crazy. And I just kept telling him, I'm not going to give you any information. Like, I'm not going to participate. Thank you. He was relentless. And I told him I was going to call the cops on him. And then he told me he had federal jurisdiction and they wouldn't do anything. It was the weirdest thing ever. But, anyways, if I'm sitting there holding the clipboard and asking them the questions, it feels a little weird. So I just off the cuff know the questions and I'll ask them the questions. Well, I'm glad you guys came out today. Glad you found us. How did you guys find us? How'd you hear about us originally? I'm just asking it in conversation. And they're like, oh, well, a friend of ours told us about you guys. Cool. And just so I know, like, what's kind of the mission today in looking at a home? Tell me a little bit about what the dream is. What are like the top couple of things you're looking for in a home? This is what kind of question? Closed-ended
open-ended.
or open? Hello, Bueller. What kind of question is it?
It is
Open-ended.
open. Yeah.
Open-ended.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
heard.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to ask open-ended questions. So it's like, tell me what the dream is, what you're looking for in a home. And then I can go, and they might tell me a couple things, and then I go, and when did you guys want to move into that home? I just asked this question. But I didn't make it weird where I'm like, I'm going to need to know exactly when you need to be in your home. Like, you're just making it a casual conversation, and you might be walking around in the model, you might not be. Um, and then you go, all right. And now, this may or may not come up. I kind of leave this one as like maybe a little bit later question. But all of the questions about the home itself, which are all of these ones, whenever I ask these questions, I'm also trying to find out not only what they're looking for in the new home, but what they have in their existing. So when I get to on the home questions from the card, which is like BBG, etc., Bed Bath Garage, etc., right? Ask about what they want and what they currently have. Why do I want, not currency have, currently have? Why do I want to know both?
That'll kind of inform you of maybe their life situation. What's driving what's the motivating factor?
There you go. This draws out the motivating factors. I feel great today, you guys. Really good. Um, this draws out the motivating factors behind why they came in. So if I'm on, let's just say I'm on bedrooms, this one usually is the most telltale, right? If I have 3 bedrooms and now I want 5 and my existing home is 3, that would indicate a major change in life, right? That might indicate a his, hers, and ours scenario, right? Two different, a guy and a girl who each were married before, maybe each had kids, and now they got together and then they have their own kid. So they need a lot of bedrooms. You know what I mean? So that's
Mhm.
a large boost in bedroom number is a really strong indicator. Conversely, a 5 bedroom to a 3 bedroom, what does that indicate?
Maybe they're empty nesters now, or the kids, moved out or oh, or divorce, I guess. Yeah.
Laid off. Some major change for sure.
Yeah. So I'm just going to make notes here for you guys. 5 bedrooms now changing. I find this is very frequently empty nesters or divorce. I'm playing Inspector Clouseau here, right? I'm trying to put the pieces together, figure out what's going on in their life. Um, what's a great question to ask when they say, I currently have 3 bedrooms and now I have 5? Or now I want 5. I currently have 3, now I want 5. What's a great follow-up question to that that will uncover more? This is
I
not
guess
complicated. It might seem like a trick question.
you could just ask them what changed. Oh, what changed? How come, that you got family moving in with you, or maybe that's too personal, but
Yeah, what do you need the extra 2 bedrooms for? What changed? Right? This is going to tell you a lot about motivating factors. Why do I want to know what their motivating factors are?
I know, sorry.
Go ahead,
No, you're
Jesse.
good. Go for it.
Oh, well, people are always running to or away from something else. So you always kind of want to, if they're running away from something, you just kind of gently remind them about that stuff when they're having a hard time moving on, or moving
Yeah.
through the process. And if they're
Well, I
running
mean,
to
if you have a
something,
his, hers, and ours, and they just like next month is the wedding, does this speak to urgency level?
oh yeah.
For
If
sure.
they just got a divorce and they need to get out of the 5 bedroom house they're in and into a 3 bedroom house, does this speak to urgency level? You bet. So I want to know. I also, want to help nudge on those urgency factors as I go through the following appointments to help create urgency to get them to move forward with me and to keep reminding them, hey, when's the wedding? Okay, well, we need to get going on this thing. It's a good, like, kind of like a hot button you can push on as you move forward with them. So when I go, the bedroom one is the biggest. The baths is in there too, but it's not as big as like this usually translates to this, right? I need more bathrooms. Garage, yeah, sometimes is, this is really just the guy cares. The girl doesn't a lot of times. Why do I ask about, whoops, go back here. Why do I ask about the study?
Sometimes people want a 4 bedroom, but the 3 bedrooms and a study will really do. They don't need a fourth bedroom. They need a fourth, like maybe an office.
Yes. You're trying to decipher if they told you the right number on bedrooms, basically. Because ultimately, you got to fit them into the right plan. You got to show them the right plan that meets their needs. And if they said, I need a 4 bedroom, when you get to this question and you ask them, do you guys also want a study? They might go, well, no, that's why I said a 4 bedroom. I really only need three, and I'm going to turn one of them into a study. You want to show them the right plan.